I'm really thoroughly convinced that Jesus is set in disguise. That's a good fam. Peace and blessings. This is Derric, RauKhu more. And in this video, I wanted to talk about the fact that you ever notice that whenever you talk to individuals who are of the Christian faith, that it seems that every time they have some kind of tragedy, every time they have some kind of mishap, some kind of obstacle, some kind of major traumatic event, instead of them actually going ahead and trying to, get some kind of assistance, trying to get some help, instead of trying to go ahead and learn how to overcome that, what they do is basically use that as a confirmation or some type of some way to validate or validify that they're supposed to go back to Jesus. Have you ever noticed that? I mean, it's almost to the extent that they thrive on trauma and tragedy, and all kind of disasters. I mean, in the midst of this whole COVID thing that's going on, that's all you constantly hear, and instead of them going ahead and saying, okay, well, this is when we need to buckle down and try to figure out what's going on, it's like, no, this is an excuse. Well, they don't call it an excuse, but they say that basically this is what we need, and we really got to go back to Jesus. And I traced it back. I traced it back, and I was, Spirit just happened to go ahead and was showing me something. I'm on the internet and everything, and I came across, that the image of Jesus being inside of a boat, and I was reminded of that one story of how, Jesus was in a boat, and apparently they were out on sea, and during that time, Jesus fell asleep, and there was this storm. And during this storm, the disciples, they got all, riled up and all that kind of stuff. And when they finally woke up Jesus and everything, Jesus was like, hey, storm, be still, But it's really sad that our people are not into our own culture and into our own spirituality. Because if they were, they would have realized or would have learned that Set is the Lord of storms. Set is the Lord of chaos. Set is the Lord of confusion, the whole deal. Okay? Now, if they had understood that, if they have learned that, if, metaphysics, again, was taught within our community, in our churches, this would have been a better, gave us a different understanding. Instead of us going ahead and thinking that Jesus is the one that's going to save us. Okay? So the trick about this, which is I found interesting, is that Jesus does save us, or Set does save us, but it's not in the way in which a lot of people think. Set is considered, or Set is the last or the youngest of the nature. When you look at it from, like I said, from a metaphysical perspective, Set is the farthest away from the Ra, okay? Which is basically an illusion indicating that he lacks that spiritual power. He lacks that spiritual prowess, okay? So, in other words, the physical realm is hell. It's supposed to be hell. Everything that we're experiencing, all of our obstacles, every chaotic event that goes on in our life is all designed and basically authored by Set. The whole reason for it being is that it's supposed to stimulate you to become better. All right? But and what I mean by that is, as you all know, give you an example of my personal story. Remember, as I mentioned before, I became deathly ill before I went ahead and I, was, before I went ahead and accepted my calling, I became deathly ill, that was a set-in situation that I was involved in before I actually surrendered and said, hey, guess what? Here we go. And I started really getting heavy into my spirituality. That was a set-in thing, okay? And in that sense, that gave me a better understanding, a better appreciation and of who Set was, okay? But when the trick that has gone on is that what people think that, oh, okay, I have these tragedies, I have these these traumatic events and everything that have gone on. This is supposed to give me, or I'm supposed to go ahead and, beg or go to Jesus in order for this to take, in order for Jesus to take this away. Just like Jesus quieted the storm, okay? And again, if we had really, if our people really understood metaphysics, if they taught metaphysics within our community, and if they taught metaphysics within our community, first of all, and taught some real spirituality, first of all, it wouldn't be all these, damn churches all over the place, okay? Because people go in here and they'll really start mastering, spiritual sciences. But because they don't teach it, this is basically what people go ahead and they regress or revert back to, of thinking every time a traumatic event takes place, this means we need to really, really cling on to Jesus. And because of them doing that, they don't understand that it is an egregore that is actually causing all that situation to basically continue to keep going. An egregore is basically, it is a sophisticated, thought form that basically, for the most part, what it does is it creates traumatic events. Or let me rephrase it, it's a spirit that creates traumatic events so that it continues to be fed energy and devotion, okay, or devotion, all right? And that's what's going on, all right? So, again, people, we got to realize this, okay? We got to understand this is part of the beauty of understanding about Kemetic spirituality. The beauty of it is that it really helps you to see, the reality. It helps you to see that you are your own problem. You are the one who is causing problems, okay? And let me rephrase that. When I'm saying you, I'm talking about your lower self, okay? But as soon as you go ahead and you realize this, as soon as you come to this understanding, that's when the light comes, okay? This is light being found in the darkness. So understand, things are not going to get better, all right? Things are never going to get better because this is the whole purpose of this physical plane. It's meant to be, it's designed to be hell so that we can get off of this plane, okay? We're not supposed to be here. This is just a testing ground. We're just here visiting. We're just here basically, sharpening our spiritual metal, okay? That's all we're doing, all right? So thank Set for that trauma that you're in so that you can actually get up out of here and you can actually get back into your spirituality, discover your divinity, and use your God power, use your magic to go ahead and change the way situations are. Hopefully that helped you, all right? Once again, thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Hatapu, peace.
Just take it on. Just take it on to the house. Come on, Tigolo, be strong. Be strong, Tigolo. Be strong. Just take it home.